What's going on, everybody? Welcome to a brand new show. I have a lot of brand new shows because I just stopped doing YouTube for like a month straight, and then I just came back doing things I never did before. So I feel like I've said welcome to a brand new show like 14 times in the past week. This one's another podcast. Get excited. This one's about Disney Star Smash. So for all 12 of you outside of Japan that play this game, get excited. There's an English podcast for it. I am, of course, joined by the original podcast partner, Wokey.
I'm here. I'm one of the three. We can't get Penta because he's in the army. So you have me.
No, didn't he die? I thought he died.
What? No, Penta's in the army.
Oh no, not in real life. I'm talking about modcast lore.
Oh no, that was we killed Common. we killed Common at the end.
But he died in the prison escape.
Shit, that might have been. I could have sworn that was.
I thought Penta died breaking Renzi out of prison.
I could not keep quiet after that. Oh my god.
I'm
and
pretty
we're also
sure.
joined by GGMatt. How are you?
Howdy ho.
Okay.
So you might be right. I think we did kill Penta. We did kill Penta.
Yeah, I think we killed Penta when he broke Renzi out of hacker jail because of the world tournament.
Yeah, and then Common was the one who was killed by the other mods, and Lucifer Valley lost half his arm. That was the season finale.
Everybody has already turned the show off. So
yeah,
here's what we're gonna do. We decided instead of determining what we're gonna talk about, we decided that we're each gonna take a 20-minute block. And we're going to talk about whatever topic each one of the three of us decides. So I'm going to go first, then Wokey's going to take a turn, and then Matt's going to take a turn to close it out. So my topic is I want to talk about what mechanics, not characters, but mechanics you guys want to see in the game going forward that are not in right now.
Ooh. All right. So why don't you start us off here then, Zen?
Okay, so this is a completely cosmetic one that has absolutely no gameplay impact, but I really want to do it, mostly because I really hate Shin's goddamn sleeves. I really wish we could pick our character in co-op. I understand why we can't do it right now, because all of the high five animations are pre-made animations. That's why they're exactly the same every time, and they can't mix and match them, I guess. But I hope that they, in the future, maybe when we get access to another playable team, because I doubt we'll just be these four forever. Maybe we'll get the blue team or whoever. I hope they give you the option to pick which actual player represents you in co-op.
I mean, yeah, eventually we'll have to get other people. We have that weird 5-star shadow guy who I don't know.
King.
Is that his name?
His name is King, yes. He's just that good.
He looks like a douche, but yeah.
He's Star Smash All Might.
He does kind of feel like Star Smash All Might, especially with his special and everything.
Yeah, he's the only Star Smash All Might, bro.
He's the only one of the main. There's certain characters that they've peppered around and made 3, 4, and 5 stars of. Where I'm like, I don't remember Is this from? I always go to is this from Big Hero 6? Was this one of the side characters that I don't remember from Big Hero 6?
Because Big Hero 6 is just anime enough to pass.
Yeah, honestly, sometimes I'm just like, maybe this guy was in Big Hero 6, but I don't remember. I thought I remembered everyone in it, but apparently not. But,
no, he is canon to Star Smash lore. He's the All Might of whatever this game is called. I guess it's called Star Smash. I don't know what they call it in universe.
Yeah, it's true because we don't know any Japanese. we just kind of guess of what it is.
It's just context clues.
Hello?
Yeah. Well, let me see. I think that would actually be really cool if they could actually add some more animations besides just the rote high five. I'm still really looking forward to the day when they let us actually pick which character that we can start from the beginning. Just because right now I have the problem of either I'm the generic anime guy or Zenrotto, depending on how I feel at that given time, what I want to call him.
He really does look exactly like my little dude.
He does look a lot like your little dude, which is I think half the reason why you were so hyped for Star Smash is that you're like, oh my god, they finally made my OC into the main character.
Put me in a gacha game. It's about time, to be honest.
Finally. But if it were possible, I would always like to start off as the girl. And if possible, wouldn't mind if there was like just entire teams where it was just that girl 4 times with different hair.
Yeah,
Oh my
her
God.
name is Kay. She's my second favorite one of the 4.
Yeah, I think for me it actually kind of goes in order. Well, no, she would be first, and then Anime Zenrot would be second, and then third would be Hoodie Man, and then fourth would be Sasuke, the angry man, the angry man of the team. But yeah, the ability to pick who would actually want some. Wow, shit. I'm sorry. I got completely. Someone go. I've lost my mind. I'm sorry. I don't know why. Suddenly I stopped functioning.
Okay, so for me, it's gotta be anime version of myself is my favorite. Then the girl. Then like silver-haired Sasuke. He looks like Chairman Rose from Pokemon Sword and Shield, but angry.
Oh God, I can't see that.
And then Shin is my least favorite, only because those sleeves are the dumbest looking thing ever. They make him
Okay.
look like he's 4 years old.
I have to agree with everything you just said, but I can't get that Chairman Rose out of my head now.
He looks like Chairman Rose. He looks just like him.
Closing my eyes doesn't help.
If he didn't have the Sasuke eye cover, and his hair like ended higher up, he would look exactly like a young Chairman Rose.
You're not wrong, and that's what I hate about this. I'm looking at the background image right now. I can't see this. Bruh.
Now you got me curious because I'm like trying to think of Chairman Rose. For some reason, that's not. I keep thinking of that dude from Sword and Shield.
The bad guy from Sword and Shield.
Is that who? So that is who. I typed in
Chairman Rose.
Instead of putting Chairman Rose, I put down Chair More Rose, and now I just have pictures of chairs. Just to show you how badly my brain's broken right now. He does kind of look like him.
I know.
That's disconcerting.
Bro.
Why have you done this?
Okay, so now why do I imagine you having pictures of chairs on Google saying, "Wow, that looks like Chairman Rose."
To be fair, that chair, I wouldn't mind if we could just replace him with a chair. I feel like that would be exactly the same.
Damn, you don't like this guy that much?
Well, it's not that I don't like it. It's hard. It's, because this game is in Japanese, I actually don't get a lot of the character interactions, and I kind of wish I did know Japanese. Just because, one, it would make my life easier as a YouTuber so much if I could actually understand what the hell they were saying in this game. But two, there's a lot of like character interactions on the home screen. Like if you actually tap into them, they'll have like actual conversations with each other. So I feel like I'm missing out on that aspect of it. And I think it does end up hurting because otherwise then all I got is designs. That's all I got. I actually kind of wish that in terms of like the visual aspect of it, there's some cards where it's like this character with like Timon. I think he's actually the one that's with Pumbaa, if I remember right. There's a red 4-star that is that guy with Pumbaa.
I do think it's Edgy Boy and Pumbaa, yeah, which is a funny combination.
The hilarious combination, and I kind of wish there was something when you.
There is one funnier combination in the game than those two, and it's the edgy rival guy, like the real Sasuke, the one who has like the one who's with Donald Duck in his card, and Phil from Hercules.
Okay, it's
really good.
That is a very good combination right there. But in terms of those combination cards, I kind of wish there was a way for it to visually look like it was those two kind of teaming up. Because otherwise, I'm not 100% sure why the differentiator. I don't know how to speak. The difference between those, like a regular Pumbaa and a 4-star Pumbaa, basically, is what I'm trying to say here. What makes it so much stronger now that he's with the MC?
What I'm curious about is I always kind of thought, well, because like they're playing this game and it's like virtual reality, right? Like, because you see in the intro and stuff, they're like holograms. So I always figured like the gacha was real. Like they were pulling in a gacha to get stuff to use. So why are they also in it? Are they in the gacha in real life? In their real life?
Huh.
Now, I haven't been paying attention to the story because I can't read it, but could it be that all these people are like top teams to where it's similar to baseball cards? similar to baseball cards, of where you can kind of pull yourself.
Maybe. I have
Or
a
do you
total
find that?
headcanon of what the story is, just based on the visuals alone of it. Of like where you're wearing the mask and you're in like underground Disney hologram tennis tournaments, like the evil duels in Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, where Zane turns into a bad guy, and then you go straight when you get made into a real team.
Bruh.
Huh. Funny enough, this entire time I thought we were thieves stealing people's stuff with like tennis, but that's kind of where my head went. Just because all the Persona stuff just immediately goes to my head. Unfortunately,
Oh,
that's
so
just
you
how I'm
went
built.
straight to Phantom Thieves of Disney Tennis?
Yeah, the Phantom Thieves of tennis is what is what I'm saying. It's what I thought
Well,
the
I just
story
want to point
was.
out, in the background that we're using, Mickey is clearly a hologram in it, because you can see that he's see-through.
Yes.
Yeah.
So does that mean that the Mickey who like is working with our team is just a pre-programmed like robot and he has no actual will?
Probably.
Very just like actual Mickey.
Just like real Mickey?
As
He's just a corporate
yeah.
face.
Oh my god.
If they really wanted to get sick with it, the bad guy should have old style Mickey, the 1920s like Gremlin Mickey,
Oh
the
shit.
one who like is best known for because in the original Steamboat Willie, Pete's not actually that bad of a guy. He's just the boss who wants his worker to get working, and Mickey refuses.
Yeah, isn't Mickey like a mischievous dick in the old Disney stuff?
Yep.
Yes, he is. Which they've the most recent animated Mickey and Minnie stuff has actually gotten him back to his roots of being kind of a prick. There was like a brief period of time, which is when they actually changed Mickey's eyes. Which there's like a whole backstory of like for the longest time no one gave Mickey any eyes, and then one of the animators just went like, this would be so much easier to animate this dude if he actually had eyeballs, and so he drew eyeballs without without consulting anyone. And then someone from the art department said, hey, wait a minute, he has eyes now, so we can have eyes. And then it caused a chain reaction of all of a sudden now Mickey had eyes, and it was too late to stop it. It was like one of those weird edicts where it's like, well, Walt Disney never wanted him to have eyes, so he's gonna not have eyes. And then it changed from that point on. So yeah, the bad guy should have old Mickey.
I never knew. Wow.
Well, the bad
yeah,
guy has
there's
Donald,
a
which
whole
is
history.
thematically appropriate because he's an asshole.
He is an asshole. But depending on the depending on the universe, Donald's either an okay guy or he's actually a raging lunatic who wants to kill a bunch of chipmunks in his backyard. There's no real like sense of direction. It kind of depends on who's writing Donald at that time.
I believe this is the browbeaten Donald who's just tired. He's not bad. He's just tired.
Oh, the saddest Donald, the most realistic Donald.
The gif of him sitting in the chair looking to the side, sad Donald.
Oh, that's the kind of Donald I feel like every single day. So that's another thing that would be cool for appearances, which I'm not sure if they would do. It feels like something like that would actually be saved for like stuff like brand new cards. Like I have a feeling that we're going to get a lot of this, because it's actually kind of weird to me that they're using this Mickey, because they don't use this Mickey as the main Mickey anymore. It's the one from the new Mickey and Minnie shorts. That's the actual Mickey that Disney seems to use nowadays. So it's actually kind of weird to see like Kingdom Hearts style Mickey as opposed to kind of the newer style that they have for like kids. What I'm saying right now is that we're all growing older and there's a brand new generation of kids who this Mickey is not their Mickey.
Okay, so here's where the gap lies, right? So there's you two who's talking about like the 1920s Mickey, how he got eyes. Then there's me who has no idea what any of this is. But then there's the generation after me.
Yes.
Yeah,
basically.
exactly.
I think
also,
that's
yeah,
the
I like
perfect
how apparently Wokey and I represent the 1920s generation.
Bruh, I had no idea what you guys are talking about. I was just to keep quiet.
You've never seen any of the old 1920s Mickey cartoons? What's wrong with you?
You never played Kingdom Hearts 2?
Time ago.
He's in Kingdom Hearts 2.
Bro, okay, that's a different
Hearts 2.
story. Fuck Roxas.
I agree,
That's
but I don't know what that has to do with whether or
That
not
is-
you know old Mickey exists.
That is a long story. A very, very long story. I'd be here for 2 hours.
My
All
favorite
right,
version
Roxas
of Kingdom
clearly hurt
Hearts
you
is,
in some way.
Oh, I'm hurt. But let's move on from this.
It's actually kind of a shame that Kingdom Hearts never actually did a 1920 style Roxas. If,
In the
if, it,
in the
if it
throwback
was
world.
me, yeah, if it was
Hang
me,
on,
you would
Mr.
fight every single member of Organization 13, and they would be drawn in that old style of animation where their hip bones are constantly moving up and down, and they got
Yeah, their whole
Ugh.
like lower body is constantly rocking back and forth.
yeah, constantly rocking in motion.
Crazy
what
how
I
that
would
made the game better.
100%. I'm just saying.
Right.
That's why there's plenty of ways to make Kingdom Hearts better, which is why Star Smash exists.
Kingdom Hearts 3 came out and they were like, shit, we gotta do something else.
Oh my god.
We got to put a stop to this.
So that's why they just ported Sora and Kairi and just put these other two characters in there.
Yeah, it kind of reminds you. Do you know that long-running Fire Emblem joke about the characters who keep switching their clothes, but they look exactly the same? I think it's Owain from I forget. It's like
Oh, are
three
you talking
characters
about the
specifically.
kids from Awakening that are also in Fates and they have different names, but they're obviously the exact same character?
Yes.
Yeah.
it's like that.
It is kind of like that.
They-
He even holds his little racket like a sword.
Yeah, it feels like everything about the current like design of it feels so much like they got angry that they have to share the money for Kingdom Hearts with Square.
I am checking this right now. How does he hold the racket? Oh my god.
He doesn't hold it like Sora, but he doesn't hold it like you look at a tennis player either, to my knowledge.
Well, no, I never caught on to it. I'm loading a match right now. I want to see if I can see this myself.
Here, for the purposes of the research,
Oh my god! He does.
It looks exact.
That
There
is
you go.
so close to how Sora holds it. Bruh. No. Opposite display right now.
There you go. So yeah, a lot of the design stuff. Is there anything? By the way, I feel like we have dominated a lot of this. Is there anything that you would want to see, Matt, design wise, from out of these characters?
Ooh. Honestly, I really don't know. Like honestly, honestly, eventually they're going to incorporate the other team's potential as playable characters that you can select to go from quest to quest. So similar to what Zen was saying, how you could select which one. More or less to build off that, I would not mind if in the future they would incorporate the other teams the other teams as characters. Obviously, since they're in the gacha, but as like characters that you could select to play as the story goes on and on.
Yeah, I mean, eventually I feel like we're going to have to. Like I said, I don't think we're going to play as just these four forever.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you think that eventually we'll get story segments where it's not them? Or will the story always just focus on them?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know.
Because I feel like the way it's currently designed is that you read a manga chapter. So what I'm saying is I'm looking, and then there's like specific points where you fight the other characters. What I want is that moment where you get to control the bad guy after your character says, "I'm gonna win this one. It's the big tournament." And then when you go into the next fight, you're not controlling him. You're controlling the other character.
and you're fighting a super boss.
And what in essence you're doing is actually beating yourself so that the story says like, no, this is the part where they lose, and now you have to be all that work you did to build up to here. Now you have to actually play the other team and make you and lose now.
I like how we're talking about the
massive
story,
fan.
and like people who know it are probably like, "Wow, these guys have no idea what's going on in this game."
No idea.
Exactly.
Again, we don't know any Japanese. We kind of just have to take guesses at it. I can only tell from context clues what is ever going on in the
So
story.
then there's me who's
The nice thing about it is actually is that it's presented in like in a manga format, so it gives me hope that it maybe will be translated, knowing full well it would never be translated.
It's definitely not getting translated, but it would be nice if they like. I'm hoping at least that maybe if the game stays like decently popular, they'll like release them as chapters on the internet or something. Then maybe they'll get translated. But ain't nobody
Oh, yeah, that,
screenshotting every single page out of a gotcha game and translating that.
no, just not possible. Unless, of course, one of us knew Jap. No, well, even then, there's whole typesetting things that you need to do.
Well, it's
I had to put,
possible, but like in a gotcha game, there's so many more important things to translate than the lore manga comic.
Yeah.
yeah, you know, it happens. It's a shame though, because I would be interested in it.
Yeah, I would
And I
definitely
actually
read
do
it.
hope, that eventually we do get an English version of it. If only so I don't have to constantly wonder what does this character do, as
Who is
I
this
constantly use
person?
them. Yeah,
Yeah.
it took me like 3 days to realize what the hell does Honest John's special attack do. Because for the longest time I'm like, I think it just makes the ball smaller, like not as big as Dumbo's big fireball. And then it just goes very fast. And it took me a very long time to realize, like, oh no, it has an extra chance of critting as well. And at that point, I was like, okay, I finally figured out what the hell this guy does. And now to know how to actually use it, that's the hard part going in.
Yeah, I play the characters who have really obvious supers, and I'm like, great. I know exactly what this does. Aladdin shoots a giant Kamehameha beam. Perfect.
100% perfect. And speaking about perfect, that's about 20
It
minutes.
has been
So we
20
didn't.
minutes. It is your discussion topic. Considering
That
how
was fine.
mine went,
All right.
where we talked for about 4 minutes about mine and then changed the topic completely, I expect this to go really well.
Oh God.
I. All right. Well, first of all, I got my stopwatch. You got 10 seconds left. Ready? 8. I'm waiting for it.
You can, okay, you can
Wait.
wait for it.
Get ready for this. All right. There's the clap hand. All right. So my topic, similar to how Zen wanted to not talk about what characters are going to come up, I actually wanted to talk about 3 characters that I would love 100% for them to add into the game, but knowing how kind of obscure they are, it seems unlikely we will get them anytime soon because there's plenty of other series that are well loved in Disney. So it's kind of one of those things of like, you're going to have to wait a long time. The one I wanted to talk about was actually the 7th animated film. It's not widely known as the 7th animated film because it ends up feeling like it takes place in an alternate universe. I'm talking about the Three Caballeros, everyone's favorite Donald Duck movie that does not involve DuckTales in any sort of fashion. If you don't know what the Three Caballeros is, it is a 1943 animated Disney movie featuring the star Donald Duck as he goes around Cuba and Mexico. It was created as a way for Walt Disney to get like approval from the South American side of the earth for business deals. So the movie is actually extremely respectful to the Hispanic culture that they are handling because they actually wanted their business. So it's one of the very few 1943 movies that is respectful to other cultures. It stars Donald Duck, and then the other 2 caballeros are Jose Caraco, who is the cigar smoking parrot from Brazil, and Panchito Pistolas from Mexico. If you may remember him as the crazy rooster who shoots 2 guns in the air. Because even when you're respectful towards Mexico, you kind of always end up back to the desperado, like 2 guns in the air, orale, orale, bam, 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 shooting guns in the air. So this is kind of the way I want to see them put into the game, similar to how, the Aladdin event is currently being set up. You would have 2 farmable units. One of them would be Jose, and the other one would be Panchito Pistolas. I'm trying to think about which one of the 2 would be the 3-star, because you know how Abu is currently the 3-star of
Yeah.
Aladdin,
Right.
and you kind of go like, well, he's the 4-star, but he's like the 4-star that has like no equipment for some reason. As much as I love all 3 characters involved in it, I feel like it would have to kind of be Donald in this instance, just because Donald already has so many actual gotcha appearances that it kind of just makes sense for him to be the super free to play character in this instance. And then after that one would probably be I'm trying to think about whether it would be Jose or Panchito, by themselves. Because the way that the game currently is, you can actually have characters, which is something I actually really like in Star Smash a whole bunch, is that characters seem to be able to be into like a whole bunch of like different categories. For example, the Ariel card in that we currently have that as a 5-star is technically her with Sebastian and Flounder as well, because Flounder actually has his own card too, which is kind of crazy when you think about all the characters that are in Disney
man,
that Flounder
okay,
got his
from
own.
the beginning of this game, there has been so much Flounder slander. This is unacceptable. What's wrong with Flounder?
What I'm saying is I'm not saying that Flounder is bad. What I'm saying is Flounder is by himself, which is really weird. Have you ever seen Flounder do anything by himself?
In Kingdom Hearts, which is I don't watch The Little Mermaid, but
well, there you go. That would explain it.
I haven't since I was
I
like
digress. I'm not saying that it's bad. I actually really like it that Flounder has his own separate card. What I'm saying is that it's like one of those things where it's like I never actually thought of like a Flounder by himself, and also he's a 4-star compared to Sebastian's I think 3-star.
Fuck Sebastian. Good. Flounder's always been
No one
better
likes
than
the Jamaican
Sebastian.
bread. Yeah, exactly. That's 100% true because everyone knows that Sebastian is a snitch in everything that he does.
Can't trust this crap.
No, you cannot trust this crap at all. So then, similar to Genie, it would actually probably be, oh, you know what? If I'm thinking actually in terms of the Genie, because it's not just Genie by himself, it's Genie with the MC. It would probably be one of the main characters with either Jose or Panchito, and then the actual like EX stage style of farmable character. Would be 2 of the 3 Caballeros put together because, of course, you have to actually save the banner for the good stuff. So the actual banner unit would be all 3 Caballeros in one. That would be kind of my go-to, like, oh my god, I would love this unit so much. Okay. The idea of Donald in the giant sombrero with 2 other dudes. I want it so badly. I want nothing more in this world.
Well, I don't want to rain on your parade, so I won't talk about what I think the likelihood of that happening is.
Let me tell you right now, I think it's actually pretty likely because we have plenty. Well, here's one thing that a lot of people don't realize is that did you know that in many parts of the world outside of the US, Donald Duck is actually the more popular character out of all of them, including the extended Duckverse?
The extended Duckverse.
Yeah, let me
is this the DCU?
Immediately.
Yes. Donald Duck has his own MCU style universe outside of the Disney canon called the
Duckverse. The 3 nephews and like Scrooge McDuck. Is that what we're talking about?
It started with Scrooge McDuck. Yes, it started with Scrooge McDuck comics. They got super popular, I think, in France and South America, which is another reason why they used Donald specifically for the movie itself. Is that Donald Duck is a more popular character overseas than Mickey. My bad, at least to certain parts of it. So there's like an entire extended family of like Donald Duck specific people. At this point, everyone should know it's DuckTales, it's Scrooge McDuck, it is Darkwing Duck.
I was about to ask, is Darkwing Duck Donald related?
Yes, Darkwing Duck started in DuckTales and is a part of the Duckverse, and technically they live in the same universe.
I cannot take you seriously. It was saying Duckverse.
It is called. I'm pretty sure it is called the Duckverse. It is.
I just break out in
similar
a smile. Like, bruh, I can't take you seriously saying Duckverse.
Duckverse. The Duckverse. Let me tell you right now, the Donald Duck universe, aka the core Duckverse family, dates back to the golden age of American imagination.
Bruh.
It's the longest running universe of specifically Donald Duck characters. It includes, of course, Daisy Duck, Huey, Dewey, Louie, Scrooge McDuck, and many other characters. The world is a part of the Mickey Mouse universe, but is more detailed than the actual Mickey Mouse universe.
So Huey, Dewey, and Louie are his nephews, correct?
That is correct.
So who's their dad?
It's never been addressed. In the most recent DuckTales, they actually find their mom. Because the reason that they're hanging out with Uncle Donald is that their mom is away. And in the original DuckTales, it's kind of like one of those things of like, when is our mom coming back? And then Donald goes, oh. He kind of like avoids the question.
So wait, is the mom the one related to Donald?
Yes, I believe she is. She is the one that is actually related to Donald
Okay,
because
so
they're his
deadbeat dad
nephews.
then. The dad just walked out on them, I'm forced to assume. And all they have
Yeah,
is
Della Duck is the name of
Della.
Yeah, Della Duck. Whatever. Don't come at me for the Duckverse. That is Della is famous for her less temperamental personality and adventurous spirit. As a female adventurer and an amputee for
What the
positive
fuck
role
is
models
going
in young
on?
women and children of the disabled.
She's an
That's right.
amputee?
She lost her fucking legs, Ed. How do you feel about that?
What the fuck?
The Duckverse is a very multicultural. It's for everyone, is what I'm saying here.
So the
So
Duckverse
what?
is very that's very progressive from Disney of all
Yeah,
companies.
it is. Again, it is probably the most. It is, actually, when I think about it, is actually the most welcoming universe out there.
The Duckverse.
I can't get a freaking Spanish movie out of fucking Marvel, but I can get one out of Donald Duck. There is actually a funny scene where in the most recent DuckTales reboot, the three caballeros reunite, and it's a really funny reunite episode where it's like, oh yeah, we've been going around adventuring, having so much fun, Donald. And then like near the end of the episode, they go like, yeah, we're old, life. It has not gone the way we thought. It is lonely adventuring by yourself, but
Oh, that's sad.
yeah, friend. It is extremely sad.
Kind of sad.
Donald kind of goes like, well, he thought that he was like giving up all his adventuring life to raise his nephews after his after their mom kind of disappeared on them.
After
So
their
it is a kind
amputee mom vanished in the wilderness.
because she was out adventuring too hard. So it is kind of a very nice moment of just like you'll never find more characterization of a cartoon duck than in the Duckverse. Like, let me tell you about Magica Dispel, a specific Donald Duck Duckverse character who's out to get Scrooge McDuck's lucky penny because it holds a magical property that will allow her to remain young forever, I think. Therefore, it is the world's most sought after magical item because it is believed that as long as Scrooge McDuck has it, he can run into no ill will. So there's multiple comics of when Scrooge McDuck doesn't have the penny, he like loses millions of dollars on the stock market like right afterwards. It's an entire
Not only
thing.
am I shocked at how detailed the Duckverse is, but I'm also shocked at how much of this information you have off the cuff. This is not. You're
I'm not
not
the only one
looking
who
this
thought
up
that.
while we're talking.
No, I'm not really not. A lot of this I just kind of know.
This is
I'm not the only one who
ingrown
thought
duck
that.
knowledge.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I know. I think it's been someone has tried to record how much money Scrooge McDuck has. It is somewhere in the quadrillions, I think. I think because he has enough money. I think someone once said that Scrooge McDuck could lose $1 million an hour and he would still have enough money to live out for 50 years.
Oh my god.
What the
It is a lot. So yeah, that's kind of like what I would like to see in the game. I'm definitely more of a fan of the more obscure kind of Disneyland, not Disneyland characters, Disney characters in general. I don't know how much representation I'll see of that in Star Smash. I actually kind of feel like the way it currently is actually a pretty good like mixture of like characters that are old but also kind of still beloved. It would have been very easy for this to just be top loaded with like stuff like Frozen, Tangled, Moana, like all the most recent. There's actually some dudes from Onward in here as well, which is not surprising. But also like just stick to like the 90s Disney style of animated films. Like they could have just gone with Beauty and the Beast and the specific golden era of that animation animation style, but they've actually kind of gone out and gone some really weird characters in it that make me kind of feel hopeful for the future of the game. Basically, I would like to see characters approach similar to Orc Collection, where they're really weird, obscure old characters.
So you're just
That not
saying
a
that
lot
you
of people
want
would
the
know.
ultimate muscle guy in this.
Similar to how like Kaneko Man is extremely popular in Japan and nowhere else. Yeah, kind of. I don't think they would actually be considered on the tier of Kaneko Man in terms of obscurity, though. I think there's way more obscure Disney stuff out there that I actually plan to save for future episodes. But right now, I just wanted to focus on these three Caballeros.
You mean you have more?
I have more, but you can't just use all of it in one go. I think basically I want to have a weird crash course of what feels like I'm lying to you, but I'm actually 100% telling the truth in everything that I'm saying.
Oh, because I'm sitting here thinking, is this the purpose for the 20-minute startup? Where you're just pulling up articles on this shit?
No, it's not articles. I remember all this. There's some things I need help remembering, like characters' names, because even I am not an immortal god that just remembers every single character the second that they come out.
Bro, those were some weird details you remembered. Are you sure?
Yeah, I was
Bruh.
gonna say the Lion King was mine. You've got this
Oh,
whole
yeah.
duck verse.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is that I came in here knowing that I was about to talk about the Duckverse, and no one else was going to know what I was talking about.
Well, I have a
You
I
were
had a
indeed
vague
right about that.
inclination of the duck verse because I know about DuckTales and the nephews and
Mhm.
Daisy and Scrooge and Dark. I assumed Darkwing Duck was always one because he was a white duck, but I was not aware of
Yeah.
the scope of the duck verse, I suppose.
Yeah, it is long reaching and it is terrifying how loved the Duckverse can be, which makes me feel like that's why I feel like in some ways that it's possible to get some love from Three Caballeros. It's one of those things where it's here's another fun fact just because I wanted to bring it out here. Did you know that they're in the early reviews for Three Caballeros? One critic said it was kind of unnerving to see Donald Duck get aroused by an actual woman because the Three Caballeros is half live action, half actual animation. And there's parts where Donald Duck is lusting after a human woman.
Oh, so like Space Jam, kind of.
Similar to Space Jam, actually more on like imagine Sonic, but with more subtlety, I guess, to it.
It almost
Less
sounds
creepiness.
like Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Yes, imagine the inverse of like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, kind of. So people were kind of creeped out about that at the time because they're like, at that point, Donald Duck had only been like I guess no one actually thought that Donald Duck liked women, and no one actually ever thought about it until the actual animated movie came out.
This
And
was
he
a
was
question
going like,
we did not need
"Oh."
the answer to.
And like in that weird Donald Duck voice, he's going like, "Oh, baby." Like,
Oh my god, no, I need to unhear this immediately.
yeah, he goes like similar to like the wolf when he sees Little Red Riding Hood. He kind of goes like that, but in duck form.
I need to unhear this. Stop it.
It's too
Hang
late.
on, wait, the wolf
Bruh.
wasn't. Wait, are you telling me that the Disney wolf is after Little Red Riding Hood?
Are you being serious with me right now?
Oh
Yes!
no.
Okay, yeah, you've never seen the Chuck Jones, the big bad wolf, when he's going after that he's howling for Little Red Riding Hood, who's been turned into like a super sex machine.
Oh my god. Why?
Okay, so
Which also
I'm
I
not
would
the
like
one
to
who's been
see.
cursed today.
I cannot
How
believe
much
you've never
time is
seen that
left in this
animated short.
segment?
It's so well
How
known.
much more time do we have?
I got 3 more minutes of playtime.
Bruh.
Oh god.
I'm actually surprised you've never seen that. That's a super well known, like I used to see that all the time on Cartoon Network when they did the old actually I don't think that's actually a Disney cartoon. I think that might be Looney Tunes. Actually I don't remember at the
Okay, I'm
moment.
more
'Cause-
willing to believe that it's Looney Tunes than I am. I just I guess that the
Yeah.
weird lustiness in Disney stuff was always a little more subdued than that. A little bit more on the
Yeah.
subtle side.
Yeah, it's definitely now I might have to look that up again. I remember the cartoon, but it because of that specific like show. It was more about the actual people behind it. And Chuck Jones and Tex Avery both worked at Disney and Warner Brothers at the time, so I kind of get them confused sometimes in my head. So if I have any misinformation, apologies for that in terms of not knowing where specifically the horny wolf comes from. But yeah, that's always what it's been about. And now I'm actually going to give. I think I will secede the floor. I think I said what I wanted to
Okay.
speak. I said exactly what I wanted.
All right.
Thank you very much for indulging me. Anytime, just like in actual Star Smash, I finished my turn early. I smashed it out. This is my victory lap. So at any time, Matt, you can clap. It'll be your turn.
Okay, so to comment on that whole thing as a whole, two little points. One, I thought I knew a lot about Disney. I was very, very wrong. Holy shit. And what I also learned is that if Disney is willing to go far enough in order to go into their inner roots, they can pull a lot of stuff. They can keep this going with fresh new units for a very long time.
Oh, you have no idea. There's so.
You're right. I don't know as much about Disney. Obviously,
there's so much they could do. Like even in the movie Fantasia, I could see at least 25 characters. Man, that's how much I see.
Dude, the thing from Night on Bald Mountain as a unit, I'm all about that.
Chernabog,
that's his name. Yeah, I need that.
Yeah, 100%.
The dancing brooms and Wizard Mickey.
Oh, you can't. Yen Sid, his
nice.
master, who yells at him at the end of the movie.
But then I'm sitting here thinking, Looney Tunes crossover when?
Oh God,
the world isn't ready. Just get that Who Framed Roger Rabbit, the Donald versus Daffy. Just make that a unit.
Yeah, exactly. Like that is a great idea. In fact, I'm actually very on board with that.
Let's go for it. The Who Framed is technically owned by Disney now, so they can definitely do it.
What isn't owned by Disney now? Jesus Christ. I feel like every time someone talks about like, oh, you know what could be in this game? It's always followed by, yeah, because Disney actually owns that now.
Yeah, that one's kind of a weird case just because it has so many characters that are not owned by Disney in it. That's actually kind of weird to see it on Disney Plus. But you're good to start anytime, Matt. My 20 minutes are now officially up.
Oh God, I can't compete with any of that. You guys ended on a weak anchor. Okay, I was more going to look into kind of the state of the game itself at the moment.
Probably a good idea since we're 42 minutes into the inaugural episode of the show and we have not talked about the game yet. That's probably not a bad idea.
Oh my God. Okay. So the first thing I wanted to comment on was gold. Like, there's not enough of it.
There's very little of it. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, honestly, like, and one more, and like a little pet peeve I have is when it comes to the daily stages. Even if you join a mission, it still counts your daily use.
Yeah, well, I guess there would be no point
I don't know if that's really a pet peeve, but
limiting it if you could just co-op it, because then everyone would just co-op it forever, and then they would never hit the limit.
You can do that with Aladdin, though. I was able to get farm up that the EX Aladdin stage without having it open.
You can do that with Aladdin, but Aladdin doesn't let you randoms. You can only join private rooms for people that you know.
Code. And actually, codes is a great segue. So one more thing that I was really annoyed with whenever we didn't have enough people, whenever me and my brother would be hosting rooms, I didn't like of how we couldn't flip it to a public room while we were in the room, so we couldn't have more people join for more bonus drops and all that. That was something that annoyed me a little bit. But
are you talking about for EX Aladdin or in general?
Just in general.
In general, you can flip it back to public.
Wait, what?
It just takes a while to load in the new dudes.
Yeah,
doesn't it?
Just the toggle button that locks it. It also can unlock it.
Well, shit. How? Okay.
Yeah, I've done it before.
Yeah. To be fair, I think some of the actual co-op thing can be a little bit confusing, just specifically because it took me a while to actually. I still don't know how to join a co-op room. I know how to host one. I have not figured out exactly where the button is.
So it's not in the co-op menu. It's actually on the main screen. The front screen where they're all sitting at the table. There's a little button that says Room ID Search. That's how you join.
Yeah, it is
not intuitive at all.
So I clicked on. Do you just not type in a room ID? You just go and say, "Just find me a room."
Oh no, okay, so you just want to join anybody. So you click the when you're in
Yeah,
a
yeah.
stage and you're going to join the stage, and there's like the big ready button that for some reason is the only button in English in the whole game. The green button to the left of
Yeah.
that is co-op.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I feel like maybe some of it has to come with the language barrier in general. But I feel like some of the stuff can be streamlined a little bit better, especially in the bottom menu. Um, I end up like it's weird to me that there's no button that just says show me my team. I have to go into a specific thing that says, okay, do you want to level up? And then the top thing is actually team. It's a little bit I feel like they did it because they didn't want to have too much clutter at the bottom. They didn't want to have something like Dokkan where there's like a constant rotating
The
thing of like click
48
this.
rotating buttons.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on the topic of the whole streamline thing and the room ID search, move that button from the home screen, put it on the quest menu.
Why is it
That
not just
would,
in the co-op button?
yeah,
Like you have a
yeah,
button
exactly,
specifically for
exactly. Like,
co-op, but then you also the room search is not even
it's
it's
on the
not
home
just that it's on
page.
the homepage, it's not even accessible from the co-op button.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Like if
yeah,
you're gonna
that
have it
that's
in the
something else.
homepage, you could have it in both places. But you literally can only host or just guest a random room from the co-op button. It's your only options.
Yeah.
Um, getting back to the money thing as well. There's something I don't like, just because I've done it enough time to get and got burned by it. So you know how there's an option that you can spend, I think it's 1,500 coins to get another treasure drop. Um, I thought I used it for specifically the coin stage, thinking like, oh, I could easily make back another drop. Not then the drop ended up being 200 coins. You actually
Oh.
don't
Yeah.
get a lot of coin drops from the actual coin thing. It seems like most of it comes from actually completing the stage. But I think it's actually kind of a wasted opportunity not to have like at least bar minimum 1,000. Like it would be one thing if it was like, oh, okay, so I lost 500 on that, but it was worth a shot or something. When I
Yeah.
when I spend 1,500 and I get back 200, it just kind of makes me feel like a sucker.
I mean, I get
Like,
that they want to sort of gate progression so everybody can't just be like, my entire box is maxed out and it's the second day, because you'll run out of stuff to do and then you won't want to play
yeah,
anymore. Like the Pokemon Masters conundrum that they solved in the worst possible way. But this is kind of
Yeah.
crazy. Like, uh, leveling up people's skills takes more gold than you can get out of the dailies in a day.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like, the Aladdin event thankfully gives a lot of it, but, like, 2 runs of the hardest stage is not even enough to level a skill from 1 to 2.
Oh yeah, and actually, speaking of the Aladdin stage, that is another thing. Let me find it real fast.
Do you guys know how much gold it takes to go from skill 4 to skill 5?
I haven't even gotten past skill 2.
It's
Same.
192,000.
Jesus.
Yeah.
It's way too much.
Uh-huh.
Bruh.
It's almost double the gold gift they gave at the start of the game.
That that's bordering on fake grand order levels of like needing money, because that game specifically has an issue where the reason you don't ascend a lot of characters is that eventually it gets to the point where it's like, oh yeah, when for a 5-star it starts at like 100,000, and then it goes to skill 3 and it's like, do you have 42 million right now to drop on this? And then you have to do that 3 more times, so it keeps like getting multiple higher and higher, to the point where it's like you never actually have enough money for anything.
Wokey, I just had tunnel vision. So as you're talking about the 42 million, I just see your profile picture slowly getting bigger and bigger.
Oh yeah,
Bruh,
it's
that was the most
It-
terrifying thing I experienced all day.
it's a sickness. And for people who don't know, because they're not going to be able to see on Discord, my profile is of Gudako. Gudako, the Rio version, the one that is synonymous with no, who is basically the spirit animal of anyone who plays too much gachas and can't quit them. She is that to them.
Yes, that terrified me. Okay, so what I want to talk about with the Aladdin event is that I might just be spoiled from Dragalia, but there is no event box
Oh,
of where even if you
yeah.
keep playing it, you can't keep using the coins.
Oh yeah, where you're talking about how like if you 5 too quickly, you end up just not doing anything anymore.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, they definitely need to fix. There needs to be like a generic just end thing. It doesn't
Plus,
have to
that
have
also
anything
helps
good
with
in it. It
gold.
can literally just have like coins and EXP stuff or whatever. But there really should be an
That's actually
endless box at the end.
Yeah. The Fate has actually something similar to that where once you get all the good stuff, they give you kind of like the generic box. It doesn't have any of the stamina items. It just has like stuff that it's basically you only use it because you want more money and more materials and stuff. It does not everything has to be like the Dragalia version of the lottery where it's like an infinite supply of just like being able to get Wormite out of it, which is crazy good.
Right, yeah.
Like not everything needs to be that, but the fact that you can't use metal, I actually was thinking of skipping once I got the 3 Arabian the metal thing, the drop the
The
equipment
equipment
thing.
piece, yeah.
But knowing that there's nothing after step 5 kind of makes me hesitate a little bit.
The only thing I'm hopeful for in regards to that is that when the event is over, they will like transform your genie coins into gold or something.
But then you could be
Oh,
me
that would be amazing. That
and then accidentally skip step 2
Oh, did you just completely skip step 2?
on accident.
Yikes.
Wait a minute. They let you do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can't go back.
Yeah, all because the button is in the exact same spot. And my phone lagged, so I pressed it again and I pressed both buttons.
Oh my
So
god,
it
that's
skipped
horrible.
entirely. I wanted to stab myself, bro. I was
That
so
sucks.
unhappy.
That
Yeah,
really
not
sucks.
great.
They definitely need to work on that. That's kind of the
Let me
thing
go
about
back.
like
Let me go back, man.
yeah,
I'm not happy.
or at least make it so that they have to get at least one of the items before you can just skip it. That
Or
seems
just
crazy to
have a
me. Yeah.
confirmation button. Are you sure you want to go to the next box? Yes.
Yeah.
Oh
my God.
yeah, that's crazy. I feel probably a lot of that has to do with them just. I feel like a lot of gotchas like they enter the universe in a state that's like not fully finished. It's kind of half
Yeah, I
baked,
mean,
kind of going like
definitely a lot of. I think not just gotcha. I think mobile games in general kind of come out in
yeah.
this like state, and they're just like, okay, let's let people find out what they don't like, and then we'll worry about that later.
And some gotchas can eventually like evolve over time and then they get into like this nice steady rhythm of being like all right cool everything's kind of moving in all cylinders, everyone seems to be perfectly happy, it was a rough going at the beginning but now we're kind of the engine has started, while there's others that like never actually reached the potential that they could have fully had, or you can be like Ore Collection and be shot down in your prime.
Oof.
Because it took too late for people to realize how good it was.
Yeah, when your prime comes too late, never happens.
When your prime comes too late because Bobobo killed half your population a banner later. So it will be interesting to see kind of how they kind of address some of this stuff. It seems like they've actually given a roadmap, which is not something I've ever seen from a gotcha. At least the ones I play kind of do a like a month by month basis of going like, hey, this is kind of what we're going to be doing this month. Or in the case of like Fate in North America, you guys play the Japanese version. You know what's coming this month. Um,
I
it's
have
actually
played
very
ones with roadmaps, but not ones this young usually. Like I've never seen one drop a roadmap on like day one, and they're like, "Hey, here's the next 3 months."
Oh yeah, and also so speaking of the roadmap, my brother translated the Japanese one into English and even photoshopped all of the text over the Japanese text, so it looks like as if it was raw English, which is
Is
really
that the
helpful.
translation Twitter? That's him, right?
Yes, that is my brother.
Okay, I'll toss that in the description of the video here.
I'm sure he would love that. Okay, so enough about the negatives and things we don't like. Here's what I do like, right? So how the game plays right now, it gives me really early Blazing vibes, where it was just co-op, it was fun with other people, just doing raids, events, whatever. It was just fun.
Mhm.
Like I don't know how else to really describe it. It just gives me early Blazing vibes.
Yeah, I can see it. I mean, I think single player is a little on the dull side sometimes.
Agreed.
Because it can just be kind of like with how much of single player is like, up, time for my daily smacking the gold event in the head, that's just kind of tedious because it's not difficult or anything. But when you're playing like a hard raid with 3 other actual people, it's so much fun.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Like that is literally the exact feeling I'm talking about. I just get that. I don't know how else to really put it.
Yeah, and it's good
It
that
kind
co-op
of
is pretty accessible. It's not like, you're walled off from it, and it's super easy to get farmable units to max. Like, they drop like candy. And especially like the Aladdin
mm,
and the MC Genie character, like good lord, you could farm multiple of those up to max grade if you really wanted to. I will not do
Yeah.
that, but you could.
Oh yeah. Oh,
got my max grade Abu.
I have not
Abu.
max
Oh
graded
yeah.
Abu.
Mine's
I
75.
I am almost there. Actually, speaking of gating, so I started the event a few days. I started the event 2 days late, and I was just starting genie. Whenever I would join the co-op room because I wanted more genies, people would see my luck and immediately back out of the room, so I couldn't get more genies.
Really? I have never had that happen to me.
Really,
Yeah, I always
because
get full
it
rooms
frustrated me so much. It was
within
five
like 30
rooms in a
seconds I
row.
always get a full room.
It was 5 rooms in a row. I would join, see, and they wouldn't see the luck go up much at all. Back out of the room.
I mean, I
Well,
think we will eventually get to the point case because like I think it's early enough now where like luck characters are not universal enough for everybody to have one that doesn't suck. Because like those 4 star
right?
ones are god awful. Like the floatsome and jetsam and all that kind of stuff. Like those aren't good. But
Yeah.
when the raids come around, maybe 1 or 2 more times, and especially after the Aladdin event, because with the way elements work, you can always bring the MC and Genie character and never be like at type disadvantage in a stage. We're gonna get
Just
to the
like
point where
Trickery.
it becomes like you better have a luck unit.
Yeah.
So this is
So
kind of a oh, go ahead.
is luck unit specifically are you talking about the
It's just your grade. It's grade
your
100 has
grade?
a
Okay.
higher drop percentage.
It that was from I didn't play much of Blazing, so I assume that's what it actually that part where I was like getting the grade up, it did end up being like, isn't this what people did in Blazing? I never played
Yeah.
it enough to know what they
Hmm.
did.
And I
I was
think
like,
other
Yeah,
games
that
do
was
that
pretty much
too,
it.
other than just Blazing. Blazing is the one that comes to mind first when I think about luck units,
hmm.
but I don't think it's a Blazing exclusive mechanic or anything.
I don't think it is either. Yeah.
Um, I would hope that the next event um, gives us another character that's not just a genie. Because I don't
Hear
know
me
about
out.
you guys, but I really there's some specific character abilities. The genie is one of them where I just don't ever really like using all that much unless it's 2 genies and I can get like a full 6 balls around my
I've
ball.
got 9. It's fun.
Um,
Oh, you're
yeah,
talking
that
about
seems
the
fine when
satellite
it's like
orbs board skill? That's my least favorite one,
yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
yeah, it's not my favorite to use, and I kind of ends up being like I think his special attack is pretty fun, but the fact that that's his kind of like that's the main thing you use when you're not using him, so it kind of feels like, oh man, this really sucks, especially against like specific like maps where the characters are, again, it's very situational. Like if you're in one of those places where you can easily get your ball stuck in a group of enemies, having that many like balls is able to do a whole bunch of damage. um but there's specific ones where it just feels like specific cases where I'm just like, this doesn't do anything. It actually it makes it harder for me if I actually try and get this and then try and get it in the right position, takes longer than if I actually just tried to fight like a regular person.
Yeah, it's
um
it's not great. I mean, I think a lot of them are hit and miss. Like I think the satellite orb sucks. I think the X beam sucks. I think the cross beam is pretty good. The explosion is okay, and the lightning is okay. I don't think any of them are like crazy good. They're all kind of situational.
yeah, the lightning at the in the early stages I thought the lightning was the best one, up until like I I hit the point where I there was too many enemies on screen and it did not hit the
Yeah,
boss
and it just
and I was
stops.
like, oh
Yeah, lightning is like when you've got it down to like the boss and maybe one minion, lightning skyrockets up to the best one easily. But like in the early stages when there's a million enemies everywhere, like the scatter shot, like shotgun one is pretty good. Um, the explosion can
hmm.
be good, but it's entirely based on where they are. I don't think there's any board skill that's like far and away the best one in all circumstances, but I think the satellite orbs is pretty close to the worst one in most circumstances.
Yeah.
It's just not
Unfortunately.
appealing. So let's segue a little bit from
I
that
kind
because
of
I
wished.
wanted
Yeah.
to
Go on.
bring up something that I thought was interesting because I saw it getting talked about today. With how easy it is to get a 99 luck farmable unit and how easy it is to clear content right now, does it feel like gacha 5-star characters are kind of devalued?
It depends, really. I think there's definitely a case of, like, for example, the Aladdin and Genie still has, but someone told me that it doesn't do much, but it has like 100% coin drop bonus in some cases. Um, but like every other 5-star, it kind of ends up being like, I don't know if like for example, I love my Mulan. There's not a lot of cases where I can use my Mulan because she only has like a 5 treasure anything.
Right. So like they are better. Like Genie and Aladdin is outright better than any of the farmable characters in the game. But when you give up an additional treasure drop and you can still clear it with all of the luck characters, like even the Jafar hard stage you can beat with 4 MC Genie characters. So it's like, it seems like right now there might not be enough like risk reward when it comes to stacking drops. And so when everyone's just bringing their farmable character, it kind of is like, why do we even have these pretty
Yeah,
arc 5-stars?
honestly, I do agree with that, and I was talking to my brother about this especially, all because Zen, you were in the stream for this of where he pulled like 3 Baymaxes in one multi.
Hmm.
He wants to use his maxed out charmed Baymax, but he really can't because of the luck.
Right. And I mean, I guess for like single player, they're important because your luck is cumulative in that, so you can run whatever you want. But
Mhm.
in
Yeah,
co-op, it's not like your luck is a combination of all of the luck on your team or anything like that. So you can't run a 5-star and then like 3 luck units or whatever. So you're
right.
kind of in
Yeah,
this position where everyone just wants to play the luck unit, and it might make the run take a little bit longer, but not enough to like not warrant the extra drop.
yeah. So I think that eventually they will either come out with another game mode or some kind of challenge stage where luck will be irrelevant and it will and it will pretty much become the tier list game of where run meta things like that.
I think what they just need to do is they need to make either the character that you're using, their luck is not represented because it's the highest one on your team. So that way you can run whoever you want and still have a 99 luck unit there. So that every match is not 4 of the main character genie card. Or they just need to make it
Hmm.
like they need to increase the amount of percent that you need and make it cumulative for the team or something like that. Because with how like they're not super easy. Like the genie stage, the not the genie stage, the Jafar stage can be kind of hard on the hardest difficulty, but they're all pretty easy, especially with a max graded farmable unit. You can kind of just smack your way through them. It would be pretty boring if every single co-op run for the rest of the game was like, I hope you have your main character in Genie at 99.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where it kind of goes. I've definitely dealt with something like this, similar to Jugalia, where it ended up being the light and the dark element. Had a character where it's just like, well, why wouldn't I just use this one in any given case? Because they don't really have a weakness.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm
Like they
very
can do
familiar
fine
with
against
this.
any other element.
I'm very familiar with this.
Yeah, it's a
Ooh.
feeling of like there's actually like a lot of, if you're not careful, a lot of light and dark characters can kind of screw up the balance of a game. And
Retweet,
especially giving one,
retweet,
the very
retweet.
first event gives you a light character with that you can easily get the highest luck percentage out there. Um, but I really do think that like they are going to release stages where it's kind of like it's just not going to be beatable with 4 genies, or it's just going to be so tough that you're actually going to get super low runtimes. I actually kind of wish that runtime factored into your drops. So if you took like 5 minutes as opposed to like 2 minutes, like yeah, you would get more, but your drops would be way worse. So you'd get stuff like, oh, it's just like EXP and some gems.
Oh, so
Where if
you're
you
saying like if you could balance it out by having a faster clear with the better characters, that would be higher rarity drops. whereas
Yes,
if you were
that's
playing with
kind
the
of
block and you play the slow game, you'd get lower quality drops, but more of them. Yeah, I could see
yes,
that. I
exactly.
don't know. I just think that it needs to get addressed at some point. Like, I'm not saying that you have to have a bunch of like high quality 5 stars for the game to be fun, because it is still fun right now. But when we're getting
Mhm.
to the point where it's like there's not any variety anymore, that's where the danger comes in. Because right
Yeah.
now there are other farmable luck units you can use, but why would you? Because you probably don't have a 99 luck raid unit yet, because they're only out for 2 hours a day, and they're not in comfortable hours for most like at least in
I
the
do not
US.
Most
like that
people.
system.
Yeah.
I don't like the hourly system at all. I just don't. And I
No,
never liked it.
I didn't like it in Or Collection. I certainly don't like it now.
Oh, that was an
Yeah.
order? That was an order as well?
It- yeah, that's another thing that reminds me of War Collection is that in the beginning you had to be awake. But at least at Or, when they first did it, they had like 7 strike times throughout the day. This is like, if you're awake for these 2 hours, good luck. If you're not, then I guess you don't get the character.
Yeah, that's been me,
Like, it's
honestly.
nice that you can do it on the weekend. Like, they have the weekend, they have everybody up for at least a little bit. But then they have weekend exclusive ones that you can only get on the weekend, which is the exact same problem.
Yeah.
And they're even harder to get because they're only. I mean, I'm not saying they need to schedule their time around people that don't live in the region the game is for or anything, but it would just be nice if they were more readily available than 2 hours a day.
Yeah, for sure. And with that, I think that
Yeah, I
was
think we're close to an hour and 10 minutes, so I think that's a good place to hold off for now.
I am shocked I could come up with enough things for 20 minutes. Oh my god.
yeah. I mean,
Bruh.
Zen, I don't know if you plan to do this, but you should definitely do timestamps. So in case people are like,
Yes,
well, let me get.
I will timestamp it so that if everyone, I assume everyone's only here for the Duckverse breakdown. So I will make sure that I
100%.
timestamp that so that everyone can
I'm
listen to
sorry.
that.
You need to label Wokey's little section as Duckverse.
Oh, absolutely.
The
Duckverse lore.
It was my cry.
I'm actually gonna look into this now. Goddamn.
You should look into it. There's like over 1,000 comics of it. I'm going on and on. Zen, why don't you take us out here, bro?
Okay, thanks everybody for tuning in for the inaugural episode. We hope to do this. I don't know what the frequency we'll do this with is. I guess it depends. I don't think weekly is viable because of the content schedule for this game is pretty loose. Only 2 banners a month, etc. But maybe every 2 weeks or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you for tuning in. I am, of course, Zenrotto, and then I'm joined by Wokey.
What's up?
And
Bye-bye, everyone.
GGMatt.
Dick and Toaster.
Okay, goodbye.